We love spending this time with you. Thank you for listening. If you would like to take your listening experience to the next level, did you know there's a way to do that, Jabo?
I do.
Yep, you know how you do it. You go to thetjshow.com, you sign up for the TJ Show newsletter, and you get cool things dropped right into your inbox, like the TJ Show's 10 shares. We pick 10 different things, everyone on the team does it, that we think you're going to love. It's not just about our show. This is about like stuff, music we're listening to, whatever it may be.
Like life stuff.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot more in there. Sign up at thetjshow.com. This is the TJ Show. What a cool story this is. I long for a moment to get involved in something like this with the police department. One of my cousins used to be a cop, and I'm like, yo, man, can I just come in your patrol car just like once? I just want to see what you do out there. But anyway, there's a contractor in Virginia, and he was having tools stolen from him.
That's frustrating.
And evidently, this was happening to multiple contractors, and he was getting really frustrated with this. So, you know those Apple AirTags?
Oh, yeah.
They're these little devices that you can put on your keys or your wallet or whatever, luggage, and you can track it in your phone. I mean, it's honestly one of the coolest things on the planet that we have access to that.
It's awesome. I had one in my backpack a few weeks ago, and when I was away from my backpack, it would notify me on my phone that I was away from my AirTag, my backpack.
Yeah, I love it. It's secret agent stuff, but we have access to it. And this contractor decided, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to hide Apple AirTags in some of my tools that I have left. Some thief comes along, steals the tools. He calls the police department and goes, hey, take a look at my phone. This is where the tools are. The police wind up getting into this space. They find a total of $3 to $5 million worth of tools because of this one contractor who took it into his own hands.
Way to go, dude.
15,000 stolen construction tools. You would think at like right around 14,000, the thieves would say, all right, we've gotten away with this long enough. We know how these stories go. Every time you overdo it, you get caught. But I guess they think they're invincible, right?
They probably have a thrill. They're like, okay, we're at 13,000. What's 14,000 like? What's 15,000 like? Ooh, what's 20,000 like?
Yeah, you know how some preschools have like sticker charts?
Yeah.
You think they got a sticker chart for how many tools? All right, we're at 15K, guys. Good job.
Guys.
Yeah, you get an elephant. Yeah, let's put it on the sticker chart. So they break in, and now they've gathered some of these tools. I don't know what you do, though, when you find all those tools. Like, how do you find who they belong to? Do you put out a message, hey, if your tools were stolen?
I'm actually surprised that the police got involved because I've heard stories of people who have missing luggage, who have AirTags in their luggage, and a lot of airlines won't even get involved, even though the person's like, listen, I know exactly where my luggage is. Or when someone had a stolen bike. There was a story where a man had a stolen bike, he had an AirTag on it, told the police where it was, and the police was like, we can't get involved. So I'm thankful that they got involved and helped this guy out.
Yeah, this is a very interesting story. And my brother actually gave me AirTags for a Christmas gift a couple of years ago. And I actually hadn't heard of what it was yet, believe it or not. I don't know how.
Your brother was ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but the thought that I had was, oh, this is cool. I am going to put this in my brother's car, and I'm going to track him, and he won't know about it. And I'm going to reach out and be like, hey, Mike, how you doing at the grocery store? And really freak him out.
That's weird.
And then I forgot to do it, and so I didn't do it. But what I didn't realize is that this is actually a serious problem, and people are doing that, and they're stalking people with these AirTags.
Yeah, that's scary.
And this is a whole other layer. So obviously we just heard of a great use for this, but Apple is now working with Google to stop AirTags and other Bluetooth trackers from being used for stalking. So they're trying to figure out, how do we prevent this?
Right.
How would you prevent that? I don't know.
I know.
As of last December, it seemed that the companies were getting closer to reaching a solution, and the goal is to allow people to detect unknown tracking devices without having to download extra apps. So they're figuring out all that tech stuff.
And there's some upside to it, too. Like, I've heard parents will have taken the AirTags and made bracelets for their children.
Yeah.
And they put the AirTags in the bracelet, and they're cute. You can't really tell it's discreet. So that's helpful in that way as well.
Yeah, they do the same thing to criminals when they let them out, right? you gotta track.
House arrest.
I mean, who knows what they're up to out there? But cool story. I try to go on dad-daughter dates with my kids as often as possible.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
And the other day I had all three of them in the car, and they've gotten very talented at buckling themselves into their seats.
Good.
You know, my youngest daughter has a car seat, and I'm very impressed. She uses her hands and her arms to buckle it in there. My other daughter has a booster seat, and two of them know how to get out of their seats. My youngest daughter can't push the button hard enough.
Yeah, it is hard though.
Yeah, but she just doesn't have the strength for it. And what I noticed happens now, every time we park and they're all ready to get out of the car, my oldest daughter, without even skipping a beat, helps Noah out of her car seat.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And she expects it. And while she doesn't have the strength to do it, she leans on Charlie, my oldest daughter, to get her out. And they all get out of the car. They file out like little ducklings. They close the door. And I saw they're working together. And I thought it was so beautiful. And they do that all the time. And it's so seamless. And it made me think, at what age do we stop leaning on stronger people to help us move forward and get to the goals that we want to get to? Like, Noah knows her goal as a little kid who can't get out of her car seat is to get out of the car seat.
Right.
And she knows someone who happens to have the answer and the strength to be able to get her out of her car seat.
Yeah.
Here we are in our careers as adults or in our friend groups as adults, and we're afraid to ask for help or even receive help.
Right.
You know, the other day, I was out at the grocery store and there was this sign that said, only cash, all over the place, no credit cards. Their system was down. And, you know, it sort of started as a joke where I awkwardly waited outside the grocery store. I went to the bank. I got a little extra money and I thought, oh, you know, this will be fun. I'll give a few bucks to someone. I was shocked to see this. And I've seen this before. People refuse to accept help. Even in a situation like that where I'm saving them a trip to the bank, I offered her, it wasn't a ton of money, it was like $20. No, give it to someone else who needs it. And to me, if someone walked up to me and said, hey, here's $20, you know, I'm on the radio, we're just having fun, whatever. She was willing to talk to me. She was willing to be recorded. She wasn't willing to accept the help.
If somebody came up to me and handed me $20, I first would be hesitant because I have to know like
Sure.
what's going on. We have to be aware of my surroundings, like my mom would always tell me. And so I would be hesitant. But then once I know that they're of good heart, I'd be like, oh, okay, appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know the age when we just decided to stop asking people for help or receiving help. I would say it's more so an experience you had when you did ask for help and someone was not very kind in giving it. And then maybe that person, I have found myself doing this from time to time, depending on the situation, you'll put up a guard because you're like, well, the last time I asked for help 20-something years ago is still affecting me right now in this present moment.
So it's almost like a little tiny trauma that starts to get larger and larger. And
You
then
can water it. Yeah.
It just becomes a thing that you no longer do. And it's like, I don't think that's how we're wired. We're
I also
supposed
think
to.
that's what we learn to operate in that. So we learn to become self-efficient.
Yeah, which is not the best way to be the most efficient. Like, we are designed to be doing life together. And I thought it was so beautiful how seamless. I used the little duckling example. But think about a bunch of ducklings crossing the road. Like, the mama and the ducklings, they're all working together. It's not just the mama who's getting them to where they need to be.
You may have heard this saying. If you haven't, then here you go. But I've heard if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go further, you go together.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love that.
So.
Yes, Kenny.
Well, I wonder if it's the opposite of what you guys are saying, where maybe somebody asked you for help, you obliged, it was such a pain in the butt to help this person that now you don't want to ask for help because you're trying to protect that person from the pain you suffer.
Have you talked to a therapist about that recently, Kenny?
I think that might be my issue.
Okay.
But it's okay to say no, too. So I get that, Kenny. Yeah.
It is. No, I hear you. There's a whole lot of weird stuff going on when we become adults.
Yeah,
Have you noticed that? They
Yeah.
keep piling up. We have a friend that we work with. His name is Scotty. He's a workout nut.
He's a great dude, too.
Alrighty, it is Tuesday. Let's do this.
He's got muscles. I think they are bigger than my head, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm
Would you
pretty
say?
sure of it.
Yeah, I think he could crush me like a walnut.
I'm the Nutcracker.
Oh, wait, that's Scott. He's right here.
Alrighty, it is Tuesday. Let's do this.
No, listen. Scotty, he's like a social media influencer too. So every day he goes on a run. And he records himself, and he usually gives this bit of information that's helpful for your life.
But he doesn't just record himself. He uses a selfie stick. Bro.
Right.
I mean, that's serious.
But,
yeah.
you know, he's older than we are, and he's in amazing shape.
is,
and so
yeah.
I think he's got a lot of great information to share.
You know, running with the selfie sticks help you burn twice as many calories.
Because you have to lift your arm up.
That's right,
Yeah,
TJ.
that's right. So now I found out Scotty is hosting a podcast called Ageless Alpha. And I guess he considers himself an ageless alpha.
Okay.
Because, you know, he's a very dominant figure.
Yeah, you know how a wolf pack has an alpha?
Yep.
Look at this wolf. Tell me how old this wolf is.
Yeah, you're holding a picture of a wolf.
It's ageless.
Yeah, I don't know the age of it.
You don't know how old I am either,
That wolf looks like
TJ.
a husky.
What?
That wolf looks like a husky.
Yeah, but how old is it?
Oh no, looks like a little baby. I'm not scared of it.
So anyway, Scotty's now hosting this podcast, and he just recently did an interview with a woman who is an MMA fighter, and she's very strong. And we're trying to figure out, I think she has a sharpened tooth, or she puts like a vampire tooth on her teeth for pictures. Do we know for sure which way it is? I tried to have Josh research this. Is it a sharpened tooth or a stick-on tooth?
I don't know. She's got something that makes her tooth look like that.
So let's listen to a piece of this. It's Scotty from his Ageless Alpha podcast.
What got you into the fitness arena? What got you into fighting?
What really got me into martial arts at a young age was the fact that I used to be bullied when I was younger. And I got sick and tired of being bullied and just taunted, and I wanted a way to defend myself.
Hey, fair enough, right?
So I started off with just fitness, at home, doing my dad's Taibo workouts. And then I used to play a lot of video games, like violent video games. And I love Mortal Kombat. I'm a real big gamer. Those were always games that inspired me to learn martial arts. I started watching boxing.
It's cool. What I think I hear her describing there is that as a kid, she had an interest in this for whatever reason, and then she followed it. I relate to that with radio.
Right.
I'm not as tough as she is, but I just fell in love with it as a fan first, and it turned out it was a passion of hers.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've actually had to use your martial arts experience, training to defend yourself? Somebody get in your face.
I've been in a lot of those bar fights, man. Like, I am not going to front, but
I wondered about that. Do you, as a professional fighter, as you're in a bar, are people starting fights and they have no idea what you know?
I don't know, but I also wonder, being a professional fighter, if you're held to a higher standards when it comes to the law, if you injured somebody. Because you have a skill that somebody else that you're fighting doesn't have.
Yes, camera guy Josh.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. They're actually charged differently because they're professionally trained fighters.
Really?
Yeah, so they have a higher responsibility in those situations.
I actually have both of my arms registered as deadly weapons.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
It's a smart move then.
Good idea.
how people get when they're wasted, they just have liquid courage. So, I've had to headbutt somebody. I've had to fist punch somebody with a right hook. just these people, you never know who you're going to run into.
If you want to hear more from Scotty and his Ageless Alpha podcast, maybe you want to be ageless like Scotty is.
Yeah.
Just search for that wherever you listen to podcasts. The TJ Show is sponsored by Prize Picks. You want to play daily fantasy sports and it just seems so complicated? Well, what about Prize Picks for daily fantasy sports?
Prize Picks is cool because it's just you picking against stat projections, more or less on 2 to 6 players' stats, everything from basketball finals. Keep an eye out for star players for boosted payouts, and you can even use esports to add to your entries now.
Yeah, every Wednesday and Saturday in June, if your esport lineup doesn't win, you'll get your entry fee back. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. PrizePicks.com. Download the app today and use code TJShow for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code TJShow on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less, it's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details. PrizePicks.com. Have I said it enough?
PrizePicks.com.
You got me. This edition of the TJ Show is brought to us by Omaha Steaks. I'm so grateful for Omaha Steaks. They make Father's Day so easy, and dads love steaks. Kenny, does your dad love steaks?
You better believe it, TJ. I love a good ribeye.
One of my favorite memories of my dad is him grilling steaks. So I love it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to use the word easy, but who doesn't want easy gifts when
Hello?
you just know someone's going to love something? Why not? And we want to show our dads some love, right?
That's right.
My dad would definitely feel loved and does feel loved with steaks.
I have enough tools, all right?
Yeah, right. How many tools does your dad need? He's got them. With Father's Day right around the corner, what do you give the guy who seemingly has everything? An experience he'll never forget. Omaha Steaks. This Father's Day, try Omaha Steaks by going to omahasteaks.com. Use the promo code TJ at checkout for an additional discount when you shop gourmet gift packages for Father's Day. omahasteaks.com. Use the promo code TJ for exclusive savings.
I also like to save money.
It's checking off every box. This is the TJ Show. Kenny was near the Philly area last night, and you attended the Phillies game. They're playing the Brewers, is that right?
That is right.
and obviously your girlfriend from the Philly area, big fan.
Yeah, her dad even works as an usher at the stadium.
Yeah, there you go. So you're there, and obviously Kenny doesn't feel passionate about either of those teams. And so who did you root for?
I rooted for the umpires last night.
And I think that's good. How often do you get the umpires? There's very rarely a crowd that's rooting for the umpires.
They're almost always getting booed. They
Right.
deserve some cheers.
So here's what Kenny was doing last night.
That's a good call, Blue. Good call.
It's actually really encouraging.
Let's go up. There you go. He's on it, this guy.
Now, I think the girlfriend laughs because she's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right? Do you think she thinks that's funny?
No, I think she's just trying to fill the space of like being uncomfortable.
Right. But Kenny doesn't stop. He just
No, of
keeps
course
going.
not.
Keep an eye on that pitch clock, Blue. Yep, that was foul. Good call.
Notice she's... Yeah, okay. Let's see.
Oh!
Yeah, I think she's definitely uncomfortable.
Come on, that's a real laugh.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, look how, see how he gave the ball to the catcher there? Perfect.
Did he have a nice handoff to the catcher?
Yes.
Nice.
The ball was out of play, and yeah, he did what he had to do.
Perfect handoff.
Textbook umping.
Textbook umping. Yeah, that's good.
Haven't heard that one.
Kenny, you are fun to hang out with. He comes up with interesting little observations. Like no one's rooting for the umpires.
A lot of people usually are mad at the umpires, but he's trying to encourage the umpire. I mean, they didn't hear you, but good job encouraging them.
J-Bo, Kenny was ordering a lot of food, and he wanted to play a little game with us.
Yeah, I want to see if you guys can guess how much all of this costs.
Okay, so, the best deals in town are found at the local MLB stadiums.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
All right.
go ahead. Yeah, I'll guess. I'll play this.
Okay, so I had two 24-ounce beers. I had one considerably smaller hard iced tea.
Oh, so you were lit.
For sure. On a weekday, too. That's wild.
We both had a cheeseburger, so 2 cheeseburgers, 2 fries, 1 bottle of water, and 1 milkshake. How much did that all cost?
Oh, wow. Go ahead. You
I'm going to
guess first.
say everything came out to about 120, 130.
130. Okay. Oof. Yeah, I guess I'll go under. I'm going to go with about 90.
All right, I'm right in the middle between the two of you. It was $115.
115?
Bro, I said
73 cents.
120. I definitely I was right there.
Wow. How do people pay that?
I don't know,
Can't you
man.
sneak in hamburgers in your pocket? Like, couldn't you go to a
You get a book
McDonald's
bag?
or something?
Yeah, put some hamburgers in there.
Something, I do think you are allowed to bring in food as long as you pack it properly, like in a clear Ziploc bag. They won't let you bring in liquids other than maybe a water bottle. They might let me bring my Stanley.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's so offensive to me. The airport is the most offensive place because they take your water and then they charge you top dollar for a new water on the other side. And we tolerate it.
No, bro, you got to drink your water before you go through security. Take your empty bottle, put it in your bag. And then when you get through security, next to the bathrooms, there's usually one of those filling stations where you use the automatic fillers. Put that bad boy in there, you fill right up.
Yeah, over the course of a year, that'll save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's very good. I love those little filling stations where it counts how
I love
many
it.
bottles you've saved from
Yeah.
destroying the world. I feel really good about those.
Me too. I'm like,
Yeah.
way to go, me.
Yeah, I was at one the other day, and it was like about 4,000. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I was like,
look at us go.
I'm a part of healing the nation.
Right.
Our friend Edgar on the phone. Edgar's like a brother to me.
Yeah, he is.
Edgar also hosts a radio show. Edgar, you there?
Hey, what's up, TJ? Your beautiful listeners, J-Bo and Kenny. Great to hang out with you guys again.
What's up, Edgar?
Hey, Edgar.
I had this whole plan for Edgar, and I sent him a lemon tree for his birthday because my theory on birthday presents is you give a gift that will keep on giving, hopefully for years to come. I think about this often with my kids. It's like, do I want to just get him a toy that I know is going to wind up in a big pile of plastic or not? Like, do we just keep wasting money on these supposed presents for the instant gratification? Or do you get someone this awesome thing that just keeps on producing and producing? And so I send Edgar a lemon tree. I had to jump through a bunch of hoops. I thought it would be a big surprise. And fast forward, he gets it. He's so excited. We're talking on the phone. And I'm like, oh, great. He lets me know that he got wind because I stupidly mentioned it on the radio. He happened to have our show on and heard me talking about his present. And so you knew the big surprise that was showing up. And I'm sorry for that, Edgar. I should have kept it under my hat a little longer.
Nah, no worries. I mean, literally the day that I chose to tap into you guys' show, at that same exact time, you literally opened up saying, hey, so I got a surprise for my friend Edgar. It's his birthday coming up. And I'm like,
great.
oh my God. I'm like, that's me. And at that moment in time, I got to decide, do I keep listening or do I turn it off or change it?
And you
And
kept
of course,
listening.
I kept listening.
Yeah. You're not right for that.
When you get intel like that, of course you got to keep it on. But then Edgar sends me a picture with it, and he seems, it's in a box, and I realized I made you pick up a shovel and work on your birthday because you had to plant this thing in your yard. I'm sorry for that. Maybe it's too much work, and I'm sorry if the present was a little. It's like, who wants to do something on their birthday, right? I gave him a job
I would
to
have
do.
sent it back. I would have been like, return to sender. This is too much.
I actually was disappointed. I was like, wait, there's no lemons on the tree. Can we return that? Something's wrong with it.
Well, Edgar lives in Los Angeles, so it's like the perfect weather to just throw it in your backyard. And I dream of what that's like. We're on the East Coast, so we don't just get to have citrus trees outside.
Right.
We got to keep it outside, bring it inside. My brother-in-law has this orange tree in front of his house, and whenever we go visit him, we pluck an orange off. It's some of the best tasting fruit, and he never has to buy oranges.
Yeah, my mom, the same thing. On her property, she has an orange tree. She lives down in Florida, and now the orange tree has died, but growing up, we would go outside and pick out oranges off her tree.
And isn't it like the best fruit you've ever had?
Oh, yeah, so good.
I'm very passionate about fruit. I think yesterday around this time we were talking about watermelons. We'll just go around the whole produce section of the grocery store on this show.
But I think it tasted so good because the oranges were free.
Yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean?
that's also true.
I also told you about a full circle moment. So when we got the tree in a box, I look at the box and it says Watsonville, California. And I'm like, I go to my wife because my wife is born in Watsonville, California.
Ooh.
And it's up north. And I'm like, babe, did your parents send me something? Because they still live over there. And she's like, no. So I thought it was so cool that obviously you didn't know this, TJ, but the tree that you got me as a gift for my family and I comes from my wife's hometown, which is an agricultural area in California and is the strawberry capital of the United States of America. And my in-laws actually worked in the strawberry fields for 20 years.
Wow.
They now own their own business, but it was a cool full circle moment for us.
Wow, look at that.
That's cool.
Isn't that amazing? That it's almost like this little tiny miracle. These little moments, like who could have planned that?
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, Edgar, I'm sorry it's late, but for a late birthday gift, I got a case of Mike's Hard Lemonade coming your way, so keep an eye out for that.
Edgar Sotelo, we love you. Have a great day, all right?
All right, love y'all.
All right, love you, bro. Take care.
J-Bo, you ever find yourself in Reddit looking at all the different conversations going on there?
Every once in a while, yeah. It's fun.
This is an interesting one that came up. 8 things that we hated as kids that we now love as adults. And everyone's commenting on that. I mean, do people just spend time commenting on this all day long? They all want to share their
Let's
thoughts.
call it a forum. It's a community group online, you know?
Yeah, and as much as I can't stand that, there's so much time wasted there, then I was thinking, well, yeah, that's a good question. What is it? For me, I mean, definitely coffee. I couldn't stand the smell of it. I didn't like it when I was a kid. I would smell the teacher's breath. You know, I remember the guy who had the worst coffee breath, and I was like, I would never drink that. And now I'm like the biggest coffee fan, and I wonder, am I that person now with coffee breath?
I don't know about you, bro. Being Puerto Rican, coffee was like a staple in my household, and my abuelita, she would give me coffee as young as 2 years old. So it was like in my blood. So coffee was definitely something I loved. I can't believe you didn't like it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess I wasn't used to it, and now I know. I was wrong as a little kid. You had it figured out, J-Bo.
Yeah.
What's the thing that comes to mind with you?
Yo, I love being home. I hated being home when I was growing up. My grandmother used to always tell me I was la pata suelta, which means that you had a loose leg. You're always out in the streets. Growing up, I would be out in the streets with my friends, riding around, listening to music. Now I love being home. My friends call me, let's go out. I'm like, for what? Every time you leave the house, you got to pay for something. It's expensive. You got to deal with people's attitudes. People can't drive. You know, you think everybody can't drive but yourself. So I'm like, I'd rather stay home. I love being home.
So yeah,
and I pay a lot for my rent, for my apartment, you know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm going to stay home.
Yeah, why do you want to run out? You got this great place.
To spend more money, no.
It's like a J-Bo palace.
Yeah.
Just hang out in there. You got your cat there. Your cat loves you.
That's right.
There's Apollo.
I got
prancing
AC.
around.
If I'm hot, put the AC on. If I'm thirsty, drink some water. You got juice in the fridge.
What about you, Kenny?
You know, I was thinking about this. Going to a home improvement store like a Lowe's or a Home Depot.
So boring as a kid.
I used to hate it as a kid, but now I'm fascinated by that place.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about it.
Oh, and the smell of it too, like the wood.
It's so fresh
I love
and
it.
woody.
Yeah.
And there's, you know what I like about it now? Because I agree with you. I used to hate, my dad's a contractor. I would hate when he dragged me along there. now there's so much potential. You walk in, you go, what can you do? What can you build?
You can see things. Yeah,
Yes.
it's like vision, having vision to see things, yeah.
When my dad would say, "All right, son, get in the car. We're going to Home Depot," I would be kicking and screaming into that car. But now, hey, old man, I'll go to Home Depot with you. Let's go look at some 2x4s.
My kids actually ask me to go to Lowe's now.
Okay.
Because, and I don't remember this as a kid, but now they have, like, especially around the holidays, these big elaborate setups with Christmas trees.
Oh,
and everything.
yeah.
So it becomes now a destination. They want to go there.
Take pictures.
What about you, camera guy Josh? What did you hate as a kid that now you love?
I hated mowing the grass. Now I love it.
Wait, why do you love that now?
I don't know. It's just you're out there, you get a little alone time, you're burning a few calories, and at the end, your lawn looks really, really good.
Yeah, and also, I think the best workouts are the ones where you're actually accomplishing something.
Yes.
Like, people, every time I tell them I chop wood, they go, "Oh, man, that's a lot of work." I'm like, well, no, it's a workout. And so I like being outside. I can understand that.
Yeah,
That's
and you
good.
get a little bit of a tan, too.
I think Josh just likes the alone time. That's what it is.
That's part of it.
TJ, you gonna start cutting your grass now, or?
No, that's too much work.
He chops wood, Kenny. That's enough.
Yeah. Yes, producer Heather. What did you hate as a kid? Now you love it as an adult.
Yeah, for me, it's beer, for sure.
Oh, yeah?
Why did you have beer as a kid?
Well, my dad, when I was little, I'd be like, "Oh, can I have a sip of your beer?" And of course, he'd oblige, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's so gross." But that's definitely changed. I love beer now.
I'm sure Dad would be proud. This edition of the TJ Show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Yeah, the year is going by quite quickly.
Bro, I blinked and it's gone.
Halfway there. And sometimes it's hard to take inventory on how we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think one of the ways to truly assess our progress is by talking to someone else about it. Therapists have made me realize, actually, maybe I'm further along than I think. Because our mind can play tricks on us.
That's right.
And we've got to talk through this kind of a thing. Whether you're celebrating big wins, small wins, whatever it is, knowing that you're winning or if you're not, how to change that is so valuable.
A win is a win, and therapy is a win.
I agree with you. If you've ever considered it, go to betterhelp.com/TJ. That's betterhelp.com/TJ. You fill out the questionnaire, you get linked up with a licensed therapist. If for some reason it's not a fit, you can switch therapists anytime, no additional fee. Take a moment, visit betterhelp.com/TJ today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/TJ. betterhelp.com/TJ.
What's good, everybody? It's Gerard Hector, the host and executive producer of the True Hoop Podcast. You guys can catch me and the godfather of basketball player development, Coach David Thorpe, every Monday and Thursday talking all things NBA.
It starts with Shea. Jalen Williamson, terrific. And a great coach. It starts with Shea. He's carrying a team. He's Michael Jordan right now.
Search for the True Hoop Podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe. Catch us every Monday and Thursday. Take care.
This is the TJ Show, our news. It sounds different around here. Kenny reads through every story he can find, and then he brings us the most interesting ones. Kenny, what's happening on the planet today?
They're calling him the pint-sized Picasso. He's a 2-year-old boy called Lawrence Schwartz from Germany.
I saw this kid. This is an unbelievable story.
Yeah, he's doing abstract artwork, and reportedly, some of his creations are selling for $7,000 each.
So I see this video of this kid in front of a big canvas. He's 2 years old.
Yeah.
I just recently had multiple 2-year-olds, and I've seen the art they make. Every once in a while, they do something, you're like, whoa, that's really good. How did you do that? This kid hits it out of the park every time.
What I love is that he does it in stages too. Like when he wants to paint, he'll go paint. He'll paint for a while, and then when he's done painting, he won't paint anymore. He'll wait a couple days, a couple weeks, then he'll go back and paint.
Yeah,
and they're amazing. And I'm like, you're 2. Like, I could barely draw. Are you kidding me?
I don't know what it is, and I can't put it into words, but there's something I like about looking at this final piece of work. Like, there was one that looked like a dinosaur, and I thought, wow, that looks like a dinosaur. I look at the hashtags, they hashtag dinosaur. They saw the same thing I did. Yes, producer Heather.
I mean, I think you guys are giving this child way too much credit. Like, he's finger painting. He's just doing finger paint.
Blasphemy, Heather.
I think I could do exactly what this child is doing.
Then do it.
Yeah, but you haven't.
Done. I'll do it tomorrow.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, seriously. Don't just talk. Walk. Okay, go ahead, Kenny.
So I'm seeing reports that there was a bidder from the United States that offered $148,000 for a piece titled Little Fingers. This was Lawrence's very first painting.
Wow.
Another one called The People received a bid bid of $67,000. The boy's parents say that they're not sure they want to sell them because they're some of his very first works.
Oh, well, on that note, they better sell them.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
They better jump on the bandwagon.
Be fine.
He'll get over it.
Well, while Instagram is interested in this
Right.
still, they might want to take those bids. That sounds like a great story. Kenny, what else you have?
We're learning from the FDA as of yesterday that there is a recall on ground black pepper, specifically produced by UBC food distributors under the brand name Baraka. These pepper containers would have an expiration date of January 2025, and it was said to have been contaminated with salmonella.
Oh, that's salmonella.
that's tough.
It seeps into stuff. All I want is pretty pepper. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm a big fan of black pepper. How about you, J-Bo?
Yeah, same.
And then you put a little salt in there. It's a combination that not a lot of people know about.
They pair
but
very well.
salt and pepper together.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really...
Wow, I think you might be a chef. I think you just released some chef secrets.
I don't want to keep that all to myself.
Yeah.
Kenny, what else do you have?
We're seeing a report from the United States Postal Service that is showing the growing number of dog attacks on postal workers. Apparently, there were 5,800 letter carriers that suffered bites last year alone.
I wonder why there's an increase.
Doesn't get into the why of it, but it does break down these dog attacks by state and by city. So California saw the greatest number of incidents with 727 cases. That was up from 675 in 2022. Texas ranked number 2 with 411 incidents, followed by Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Illinois.
Well, those are some of the biggest areas in the country, so I think that adds up. I know there was one time where my Labrador got out of the house, and I didn't see it, but the postal carrier guy that delivers our mail pulled up right at the right moment, and before I even knew what happened, Luna was at the carrier truck. And this guy, I mean, first of all, Luna's a very sweet dog, but this guy was so smooth. He said, "Hi, puppy," put his hand down, had a treat ready to go.
Oh.
Luna's besties.
He's a vet, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a vet.
They know what to do, but sometimes you can't get, the dogs just snap, you know, and they will not stop over a little treat.
And sometimes people think, oh, my dog doesn't bite. First of all, every dog bites. I don't care how friendly they are. They have teeth. They bite. We're humans. We bite. Like, let's be honest. But some people, they have too much trust in their dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, no, you have to control that dog. Put it in the house when the mail carrier pops up.
Well, also, people forget it's a dog. They think it's a baby.
Yeah, nope.
It's like, no. Yes.
Well, postal carriers are trained on how to try to avoid these incidents, but like J-Bo said, it sometimes does happen no matter what the temperament of the dog, and they're trained on how to stand their ground and even use repellent if necessary. Most people know what time of day the letter carrier arrives, so secure your dog inside the house behind a fence or on a leash beforehand to minimize the potential danger. The USPS also advised that dog owners should not have their children take mail directly from a letter carrier, as the dog might view the postal worker as a threat to the child.
Oh, man. Kenny, what else do you have?
Well, we talked about this last week, and there was viral video that showed this man appearing in Michigan court via Zoom while driving his car. What made matters worse is that this court appearance was for driving with a suspended license. After the judge saw him driving, he revoked the man's bond and ordered him to turn himself in. We're now learning that this man has been vindicated.
Oh, wow.
His license had been suspended during a now settled child support case. In January of 2022, another judge rescinded the license suspension.
Yeah, and here the internet has joked about him now for
Poor
multiple
dude.
days. His face is plastered everywhere. Everyone's having a big hoot. I'm glad you cleared that up.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Have you watched the video when the judge told him you're driving on suspended license?
I did see parts of it.
The look on that man's face, he was like, what? Like, just, he had this, like, realization, like, oh, no, what did I do? But now I feel bad for
Yeah, he was
laughing at
right.
him. Yeah, he was right.
He was right.
He knew what was up.
Yeah, he was thinking, I thought I had my license back. I thought this was cleared up 2 years ago. And apparently he was taking his wife to the doctors, his wife reportedly suffering from a worsening medical condition. And he was quoted after being interviewed by local television saying, what was I thinking? I was thinking about getting my wife medical help. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking about the fact that I got a suspended license. I don't care about all of that. But this man spent 2 days in jail
Oh, come on.
before being released.
And you know, this is not just about the court system, but how many times are you on the phone with customer service and they've supposedly logged something that you agreed upon, and then you call the next time and it's like, well, no, we don't see that anywhere, and it's a lack of record keeping. It's a lack of attention to detail, and people suffer because of that. This poor guy was the butt of so many jokes for days, and he was in the right.
And he lost 2 days. We don't know if he lost 2 days from work and how that affects him and his livelihood and his family. So it is a court issue in the sense where they're not keeping track of certain things. They're not communicating to each other. And people are the ones that have to pay for that.
Yeah, hopefully they address the sloppiness.
Yeah, for a possible explanation, the deputy legal director for the Michigan Secretary of State said sometimes it's as simple as we at the Secretary of State's office did not get a clearance from the court that everything was done, but something happened in the wires. We need to talk to that court to get the clearance and clean it up for the resident. And she also mentioned that getting a driver's license reinstated can often be a complicated process.
Yeah, because they're probably operating on a Gateway 2000 from 1999.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they got to update these places. Anyway, Kenny, what else you have?
The new CFO of Costco was on a recent call with Wall Street analysts to discuss the company's third quarter earnings, and he said, to clear up some recent media speculation, I want to also confirm that the $1.50 hot dog price is safe.
Hey, can we get a hot dog chant for that on the count of three?
Are we chanting or yelling hot dog?
3. Hot dog, hot dog, hot diggity dog. Kenny, thank you for keeping us somewhat informed.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, I just walked in the room and I hear Kenny being critical of me. Did I mess something up, Kenny?
No, I just think I appreciate you trying to start chants. I just don't think you're very good at it.
Why do you say that? I was starting an innocent chant a few moments ago on the radio. We found out the news that Costco, the CEO, made an announcement that is chant-worthy and worthy of celebration. He said that the $1.50 hot dog combination stays. In a world where prices are going up everywhere you turn, that is an incredible declaration. And so all I said innocently was, let's chant hot dog. And so we started chanting hot dog. It seemed to work.
Yeah, but you count off, like if you're going to do a chant, you just start the chant. Hot dog, hot dog. You do 1, 2, 3 hot dog. It confuses the rest of us and it takes us a while to get on board with your chant. I want to chant with you, TJ. It's just we need to work on your starting of the chant.
Well, hold on. J-Bo, you were right there with me shouting hot dog. What is wrong with giving everyone a count to start? You're saying I should just start the chant?
It and everybody else jumps into it. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not
you don't have to count us off.
I don't have a lot of things to chant about, so maybe I'm not a seasoned chanter.
Well, maybe you should chant in the dark, right? And practice, and then bring it out to the light when you're ready, when it's perfected.
Well, sorry guys. I don't go to sporting events, and I know you practically live at these stadiums.
I love it. Yeah.
You are a chanter. I mean, you go to football games all the time.
Absolutely.
So are you constantly trying to start chants?
I love to start a chant. If you can ever successfully start a chant, especially at a stadium, it's one of the best feelings in the world.
Sure.
So you're a professional chanter?
Sure.
Okay, so I can see how you look at me, who doesn't chant, and then decided to do a hot dog chant.
I just want to help you, TJ.
Yeah, thank you. No, next time I start a chant...
In the most critical way, by putting you on blast on the radio.
I'll just start going, let's chant. Let's chant. Let's chant. Let's chant. See, but J-Bo didn't follow
But is
along.
that the count off to the chant?
No, I did what Kenny told me to do,
Okay.
and now it didn't work.
He was starting the let's chant chant.
I know.
Yes, producer Heather.
If I may add a critique, there are also sometimes where you'll start a chant and then you'll change the word. And so we're chanting one word and you're somewhere else.
True.
I don't know where you
True.
are.
That's true.
Well, no, the one that you're referring to just happened. We started chanting hot dog, which I was very excited about.
Hot dog.
And then as we got about halfway through, it got boring. So I said, well, let me throw in...
Literally, we said hot dog 3 times and then it got boring?
It's too many. But I threw in hot diggity dog to switch it up a little bit, and then you guys completely fell off the chant. And the reason why I said
why?
Well, the reason why I said hot diggity dog is because there's some show that my kids watch where they
hot
sing
dog,
a song.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog is Mickey Mouse Club.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I hear that from the other room, and I'm like, I mean, that sounds fun. They love it.
It is.
So,
hot dog, hot diggity dog.
As now a seasoned dad, I thought, well, let me make everyone excited like they are when they watch that show.
When somebody says something and I think it's like, whoa, I go, hot dog.
Yeah, okay.
You guys say that? No, is that just me?
Yeah, I'll join you if you want to start a chant.
No, it's fine. We're not chanting anymore about hot dogs.
Well, listen, Kenny, I'm always open to criticism. and I want to grow in all places. I'm not good at chanting like you are.
right.
I think you waste a lot of time chanting, but that's for a different discussion.
Okay, whatever.
But I will get better. Next time I start a chant, I'm just going to go for it, and then you guys jump
just
on
start.
board. Okay.
And if you want to do a count of 3 thing, like that's great. Like on the count of 3, let's yell hooray. Like 1, 2,
that
3,
makes sense.
hooray. Like that's okay. But if you're going to start a chant, you just start the chant.
All right. So on the count of 3, let's say podcast. 1, 2, 3,
Podcast!
Good. Look, we're pro chanters and shouters. Cheerers. This is the TJ Show.